whoever missed it.
There we go. Okay, so let me come around. You guys see me okay?
Yes.
All right, well, welcome. And yes. Evelyn, thank you so much for having us all here tonight. I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Shelly Tuzzolino, and I am your consultant for tonight and hopefully forever. And I've been doing Pampered Chef for a little over 25 years. It's crazy, but I love my job so much. It doesn't feel like I actually do the job because right now I'm making dinner for my family, but I'm actually getting to share with you guys how I'm making it and the tools I'm using. So it's pretty cool that you can work from home whenever you want in your slippers. So it doesn't mean that you have to go out and do shows. You can do them from your phone. You do them Zoom like this. We have all different ways that you can party, and it's so fun that you can make extra money cooking that you do all the time. So what I'm going to do tonight is Evelyn is super excited that she wants to get our Deluxe cooking blender, and this month she's going to be able to get it for under $100 because she's having a party. So watch this in action. And I think you might want it too. And so we're going to talk about ways that you can get it later. But for now, I'm going to be actually making for you guys. It's our tomato basil soup, but I'm using Disneyland's Jolly Holiday recipe. So I will share this with you guys. So before we are done, I want you guys to text me so I can send you this recipe because it is so, so good. And I'll get you my cell phone number as soon as we're almost done. So that way I can have it for you guys to send it to me. But what I want to do is I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the blender. Because this is not just any typical blender. I know most people have one and they make margaritas or smoothies. And that's kind of all that most people use a blender for, except with this one, you can use it for so much more. I make homemade peanut butter at least twice a month with this. And all it is it's just a jar of peanuts and you put it on the grind setting and it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds and you have amazing, delicious, smooth, super smooth, creamy peanut butter that's only peanuts. So it's nice that it's just what you want, but you could use any nuts. You could use, cashews, you can use almonds, you can use whatever nuts you want, but you can make your own peanut butter in here, which I am so, so glad because the store brands have a lot of sugar in them. They're like the Jif and the Skippies that are really creamy like that. This one doesn't worry about that. And it doesn't have the oil separation. It stays creamy and amazing. So that's one thing, but you can make your own jams, your own jellies with this. You can make your own soup, which we're going to make tonight, but you can grind your own coffee beans, grind them in here, add them to your container, and then you've got coffee ready to go for the week. You can make sauce. So I made a marinara sauce last time and it was so good, but you make it in here and it cooks because this has a heating element in it. So it actually will cook your food, which is different from any other blender on the market because they don't have an element. They have just friction that heats it up. This will actually boil and get it super hot. Cooked it through, so it's amazing soups. But you can make your own milk. So I don't know about you guys, but my daughter she can't have regular milk. She has to have like almond milk or oat milk, something other than the cow milk. So you can make your own alternative milks with this. So that's one of the cool things is you just strain it out and you've got your milk ready to go. So smoothies, of course, margaritas, of course, but you can, when you're done using it, it can clean itself, which blows my mind. So you actually have a heated setting so you can make sure that 3 cups of water, 1 squirt of soap, and it cleans itself. Ta-da! The coolest thing ever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all the ingredients in here that we're going to be using to make this soup, tomato basil soup. So what I'm going to start with is an onion. And I just want to teach you guys a little bit about onions before I cut it up. Yellow onion is what we're using for our soup, but the root part that you see on onions, that's the part that keeps this onion tight together and it keeps it fresher longer. So when you cut an onion in half, keep the root part intact because that will keep the layers tight and it keeps it fresher longer when it's in the fridge. I was like, ooh, good to know, right? To keep it from crying, they say just put it in the freezer for 10 minutes before because it kind of crystallizes, like makes it freeze the oils in there so they don't have the fumes that go into your face to help you from crying. I think that was Mythbusters I watched years and years ago. And so that's what they had told us is 10 minutes in the freezer, that will help you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use our apple wedger. Do you guys have an apple wedger? Some of you, thumbs up.
I have one. I do.
Okay, so do you guys know, have you used it for anything besides apples before?
Nope.
No. Okay. So what you can use it for, like potatoes, and it gives you the steak fries. You could use it for pears. You could use it for onion. You could use it for anything, just to give you those sizes that you want. There's 10 wedges right here in this one. And this is stainless steel, so it's never going to rust. You throw it in the dishwasher when you're done. Super, super easy. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to cut this in half for this recipe. I just need half of an onion. The other half I'll use later in the week. But all we're going to do is we're going to wedge it. So taking it off the edge. And if you do a slit on the side of your onion, you actually want to take the thickest first layer off. So that gives you the nice onion without having the tough skin that you have to chop through or to eat through. So that first thick layer, get rid of that. And then we're going to take our wedger. So you take the wedger, and then we're just going to take it and just wedge through it. And all of these, and I'm going to put it right in here, so that way you can go through and it pushes everything out. And then now you've got, ready? I'm just going to do a little bit. All of your pieces are in chunks like this. So all of those are going to go right inside our blender. We're going to use full garlic. We're going to use tomatoes. I'm going to do, because I'm going to show you a couple ways to do your garlic. One, because we're using whole garlic for this, I just threw them all in the bottom there. And so from that, we're going to use the garlic. Do you guys cook a lot with garlic?
Yes, I love garlic.
Yes. And so you remember how to pick your garlic?
Tidy whitey.
Exactly. And you will never forget that. You will never forget what to look for. But so when you're looking in the store for your garlic, think of tidy whitey, right? So you want to make sure that the layers are all tight together, that they're not open and you can expose all the different cloves, that it's white and there's not black specks on the edge. The edge up here, black means mold. Around the root part, that is dirt, and that's okay because it grows from the ground. It has like a big stalk, so that way they can yank it up. But this way, the dirt is okay, but black speckles on the outside, not okay. So this is tight, hard. You want to make sure that they're really firm, because if there's any give to your garlic, the oils are diminishing in there. So you're not going to have that, strong garlic flavor that you really want. The onion strong. So what you want to do is you want to just squeeze it. The harder it is, the better it is. The tighter, the closed it is better. And then when it's white, you want to make sure there's no black speckles. So tidy whitey. Love that. All right. So this is your bulb of garlic, and one piece is your clove. And I share that because when I first started cooking, I thought this was a clove. So that was a strong recipe because I used 2 of them. So you just need one little piece. But we're going to actually, for this recipe, we're going to be using 5 garlic cloves. Tomato basil is the recipe we're going to be using. And so I'm going to show you one thing, which I use constantly in my house. Do you guys have this? This is our garlic press. And so with this, you never are going to touch your garlic and stink for like 4 days because you don't take the paper off. You put it inside and you want to make sure that the holes are going where you want it to go. And then you're just going to squeeze, and all the garlic is going to come out, and all you're left with is just the paper. Everything is going to be minced out. I'm going to use the back of my knife because I lost my little tool that it comes with. But when you open this up, I don't know if you guys can see, this right here is all that's left. This is just the paper. There's no garlic left in here. So cool. So that way you're not going to stink for like ever. But another tool that I'm going to be using, because I just want to take the paper off of these. And if you try to take the paper off with your nails, that oil will stick on your fingers and then you'll stink even longer. So you're going to just stick it inside there. You push down and you roll it. And when you do that, what it does is it grips that garlic and you're left with a garlic clove that has no paper on it. So cool. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do all of these. I'm going to take 5 of them and throw them right inside. And then after that, I'm going to open up some of our cans because we're going to be using diced tomatoes. So if you guys have whole tomatoes, you could use your salad chopper, chop them up. If you've got fresh tomatoes, you can use those. But I'm going to use the can of the diced tomatoes because I had ran out of tomatoes. We make we make pasta a lot. And so having the fresh tomatoes like that on hand really make it easier. So I have those constantly. So, okay, so all my garlic is done. This paper is all gonna go right in the trash. We have our flexible cutting mats that make your life so much easier. Do you guys have flexible cutting mats at home? No? Okay, so what's nice is that this one is the biggest guy. I'm gonna show you this. This is the big one. And then we've got the little ones. So it's exactly half the size of the big one. And this month, when you purchase $80 or more, this comes a set of 3. It's an orange, a blue, and a yellow. And you're gonna get those for free this month when you spend 80 or more. So cool. I use these constantly. I throw them in the dishwasher when I'm done. You can chop on them and then you lift them and flex and everything goes right to where you want it. But these are a must-have. Or you could be getting the 3 large ones that are the size of this. So this is the free one. There's actually 4 choices this month of your free. And I'll be sharing them as we go, but these guys are the other idea. I have so many of these in my pantry. The Twix-It clips, do you guys have these? Twix-It clips? So you just take and you open it up and then the bag, you just put it in here and you clip it shut and it's airtight for like 3 weeks. So chips are fresh and perfect chips every time for up to 3 weeks or longer. So these bags are airtight clips. And those are the other option out of the 4 for your free gift this month. And I'll show you in a few moments the other ones. So, okay, so wedger we use for the onion. We have the garlic, we use the peeler and we use the garlic press. And so now I'm going to show you something else that is a lot of people's favorite tool is our can opener. So if you guys don't have a smooth edge can opener, I encourage you to make sure you add it to your list because this is the best one you'll ever find for hers. But the nice thing about this is that it never touches inside the can. So you can never get that rust and buildup of nasty stuff on your can opener. It actually releases the lid. So it's a smooth lid and a smooth can. So nobody can get cut if it's in the trash or on the counter. It keeps everything nice and smooth edge. Can opener is what it's called. So it keeps everybody safe. But this one you just, and if you have arthritis or you're weak in the wrist, this one is nice because it's easy to work. And so you just go all the way around. And when you go around, you're going to feel it kind of give when you get to the beginning point. And when you get to the beginning point, then you're going to go 1 turn to the left and it will take it right off. And then there's a little button here. See, there's a button. I don't know if I can show you this one. Button here. And then it has a little beak. I don't know if you can see the beak. But when you push on the thumb, it actually will take on the edge here and it will lift this can right off. So that gives you a smooth can and a smooth lid. So that way nobody's getting cut by anything. The lid doesn't go inside because so many germs are on the lid. And so if you're using it for like tuna to drain it, or you have maybe soup or something and it goes inside and then the lid is now washed off and all that nasty stuff is now in your food, it's kind of gross. So this will never allow that to happen, which is really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and dump the whole can of our tomatoes in it. It's a 28 ounce of the diced tomatoes. And then we're going to be using with that just a half a cup. Make sure, yeah, half of a cup of chicken broth. You could use vegetable broth, you could use water, but the broth gives you more flavor. And so with that, there's one thing I just found out is that when you open and you pour your bottle, I guess this is a carton, if you pour it this way, it'll slosh, I think that's the word, slosh. But if you turn it this way, the air is not running on top, so it's not going to slosh as you pour it out. It's just going to pour smoothly. So I didn't have too much left in here, so let me see. Oh, it looks like it's got some extra thickness. Okay, that doesn't look right. So good thing I got more. Okay, it's been in the fridge for a while, so I have a can, chicken broth. I came prepared. So I'm gonna open up this can too. And so we'll use just half a cup of this. And then we're gonna add to that some olive oil, some tomato paste, and then oregano, salt, pepper, and I'm gonna add to it our Italian seasoning because I just absolutely love our Italian seasoning. I think it needs to be used in everything you ever cook. So, okay, so we've got our broth. This one has no thickness. So pour it in. And can you guys see me pouring? No, not really. Okay, so when you pour into our measuring cups. These are easy read. You can see as you pour inside, the measurement rise. So that way there's never any guesswork if you did too much or too little. It gives you the perfect amount, and then just pour it straight into your blender. For the measuring cups, it comes with a 4-cup, a 2-cup, and 1-cup. But you can put milk in here and put it in the microwave, and you could boil milk or water, melt butter. You can use this for tons because it can go in the dishwasher, it can go in the microwave, of course, the fridge or freezer, but it's so easy to read. And I love that you can see, and they will never get rubbed off. So cool, so cool. All right, so we're going to be adding a few more things. So olive oil, we're going to be using our tablespoon, and we've got 2 measurements this way. Have you guys seen these before? I don't know if you can see them very well, but this is a tablespoon and a teaspoon. They come together, and this one runs from 1/8 of a teaspoon all the way to 1 teaspoon. And it just depends on the slide as to how much you want. So we're going to be using the bigger one because it goes from 1 tablespoon to a teaspoon. So you just slide it to how much you need. We're going to be using 1 tablespoon of olive oil. I'm going to make sure I get the right amount. So 1 tablespoon goes right in there. You guys can see me very well. There I am. Okay, 1 tablespoon tomato paste, 1.5 ounces of that. So taking this is actually a 6 ounce. So I'm going to use 1/4 of the can. The rest of this, we're going to put in a freezer baggie right into the freezer so we can use it later when we make sauce or anything. So I'm going to take that and get my little tiny scoop bag. This is the cutest little thing ever. This is our mini mix and scraper, but it has a little scoop. So that way you can get inside, scoop things out, and then, yeah, that looks good. And so then that way you can mix with it, you could stir with it, you can cook with it. It will never stain. It will never come off the handle. It will never get like hard on the edge and curl and get, that nasty stuff. And this will never come off. So these are basically indestructible. When you're done, throw it in the dishwasher. And that's it. So super, super easy. And these things, my favorite one though, I have to share with you, is this. This is our small mix and scraper. And this one, like getting in mayonnaise jars or peanut butter jars or, mixing up batters or, making scrambled eggs or whatever you have. This one is my very, very favorite. It's the small mix and scraper. So that's the one I hope you guys order because it's my favorite. So that's that one. All right, so tomato paste is in there. We're gonna do 1/2 of a tablespoon. So 1.5 teaspoons is 1/2 of a tablespoon. So we're gonna do 1.5 teaspoons of sugar go in here. And then 1.5 teaspoons of dried oregano. And so you can, of course, buy them in cans, however you like to get yours, but these are nice because they fit right inside your jars like this. So we're gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna do 1.5 teaspoons of our dried oregano and move it to the 1/2. The big one doesn't fit. So I love that it comes with both so that you can make sure you can get inside your jars to get all this goodness out. And then we're also gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And this also has that slide. So you just move it up. We're gonna use, I store my salt by the stovetop in our prep bowls, and they have the lid. So that way they're airtight, and I've got salt ready to go. I have one with butter, which I'll show you when I make the grilled cheese, but I have these all over the house, full of everything. So leftovers, have a little bit of mac and cheese, stick them in there, ready to go for tomorrow, the next day, heat it up. Leftovers are really cool in those little guys. 1/2 of a teaspoon of pepper. Okay, so the last thing I have here is pepper, and then just 1/2 teaspoon though. And slide that down. Okay, one thing I love is this. I'm gonna show you guys our salt and pepper grinders. This is our set. So salt is in here, pepper is here, and my daughter, she was giving a wedding gift. She actually did, we borrowed a Cricut, and so we did Mr. and Mrs. in font, and we put them on here. So this was Mrs. and the pepper was Mr. And so this was the cutest wedding shower gift ever. But it is nice because it gives you the grind of the pepper, which is fresher, which is better. So anytime you can use fresh ground pepper, or even the salt, the Himalayan has the pink in it, which keeps it from fogging and getting, the misty in there. those are the ones that you want to get, and they make your cooking so much better, so much fresher when you have those fresh ingredients. Last thing I want to get in here is the Italian seasoning, which we go through a bottle every month because we make homemade sauce, put it on pizza, put it on, you know, anything that you make Italian, you're adding this to it. It elevates that recipe flavor so much. So I'm gonna be adding about a teaspoon of this right inside to get that even better flavor. The cap is a little over a tablespoon, so I just did a little bit of that. So now this is all in there. And the last thing I'm gonna add that's not part of that recipe, Pampered Chef has something called Enrichables. This is our sample packet. And so this one is our pea protein. So if you have people in your family that need more vegetables or need more protein or need more fiber, we have packets that you can add to the recipe that don't change the flavor, that don't change the color. They would never, ever know it's in there. And all you do is just add it and it mixes it through so that you're getting a day's, you know, this is one packet is actually only peas are made in here. That's the only ingredient is the peas. I was seeing the serving is 50 calories. And I think that this is one serving, 2 servings of your protein for the day. So that's nice that you're getting a lot of that done with just one. I added veggie. This is this bag here. So this is the sample size and this is the real size. This is one of the other options that you can get when you spend 80 or more is with your veggies. So if your kids don't eat veggies, I made brownies the other day. I added a scoop of veggie right in the brownie. Never knew, so they were the best brownies they'd ever had. I was like, yes. But you could add this to your eggs. You could add this to your coffee. You could add this to your spaghetti sauce. You can add this to anything if you need more veggies or if you need more protein or if you need more fiber. You just add this to this. So I'm actually going to put this whole packet right inside our soup. And the color, it's just that light pale color, so it will not change the color. It won't change anything about that except give you those extra protein that you may need. Because we have veggies in here, the tomatoes and whatever, but this is actually going to give this the protein because there's no meat. Okay, so that is on there. I'm going to set this to soup and I'm gonna go ahead and push start. And so what that's gonna do, it's gonna mix it and then it's gonna start to heat up. And so everything is gonna get really, really smooth. And then it's going to heat up to 212 degrees and it's going to start boiling in there. It's going to start to get amazingly, you know, mixed together and marry in there. When it comes out, when it's done, I'm going to add heavy whipping cream and fresh basil and let that, because you can do pulse. So I'll just pulse so the tomatoes, the basil gets, you know, distributed nice and evenly through that. And so this, I'm going to move it to the side while that's cooking for us. And then I'm going to show you guys some other tools. Wait, let me get it going. All right, so let me move this over. And while that's cooking, I'm going to show you guys a couple other things. So we are going to be making homemade, so we're making grilled cheese, but I'm making it with our grill and griddle that we have. So I'm going to pull this guy over so you can see it. Move some things. Okay, so this is our deluxe grill and griddle. And this is the other thing that you can get this for under $100 this month also when you have a party. Sorry, inhaled. I don't know what, it made me choke. Okay, so this one, I'm gonna show you. Can you see it okay? All right, so when you lift it, you can let it go so that it can go all the way flat. Move this down a little bit. There we go. So we're gonna take this so that it can go. Well, before I do that, let me show you. So you have our 2 plates. So this is the grill plate. Can you see how they have the lines in there? So this one you could do like your paninis, you could do steaks, you could do bacon, you could do burgers, you can do fish, whatever you want. And this is gonna give you those grill marks. So you can have this open so that it sits 2 plates separate because they have 2 different heating temperatures, the lid and the bottom. And so you can also do it so that you can take these off and you could replace it with a flat, so a griddle. So that way you could do like, open it up and you could do like bacon on, or eggs on one side and pancakes on the other, or you can use it as a panini. So if this is in here, it clicks on. So you could do this and close it and you've got your panini. So they can make it that way. You also can use this and this can, it locks in place that way. But you can then unlock it and you can do it so that it hovers over. So then that way, you guys see how it's not totally closed? And you could use that so that you can like melt cheese on top of like, I don't know, if you did like all these vegetables and you put cheese on it or broccoli, you could get the Parmesan crispy. You can do it so that you're just getting the top cooked. And so with that, you have so many options with this guy because you also can do waffles. I know these plates change that you can make your own waffles with this too. So it's all these different pieces that you can do in just one. So when you open it all the way up, you've got your two sides. I'm gonna move these guys so you can see a little better. Okay, things are just moving here. Can you see that better? All right, cool. So then you've got the two sides. So you've got this one you could use for your bacon, and this one could be for veggies, whatever you want to do. But then you've got the different plates that you can use. So we're gonna show the different ones that I got here. All right, so like you could change it out and have the flat ones that are just the grills. And when you're done, these go in the dishwasher. Even though they've got these extra elements on the back, they can actually go straight into the dishwasher. So it's so easy to clean these guys. And all you do to replace this is you just push, let me see, this side is over here. So you just push on that little button, those come out. And then all you're gonna do is just take, and you've got the little nub right here that goes right into the hole right there. So you're just gonna slide that in and it's easy, switch them out. Have whatever you want. This side has your bacon, this side has your pancakes. But you can have this so that you're doing multiple things and you don't have to heat up the house, you don't have to turn on the oven, you don't have to go up to the barbecue because I'm not a good barbecuer, but I can use this like a pro. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually be using this because I'm gonna make grilled cheese with, maybe I'll use it for, yeah, I'll have it have griddle marks. It'll be prettier. It'll look so much nicer. But we're gonna use sourdough bread. And then the best concoction that I found, and I love it, is when you get medium cheddar and white sharp cheddar. Put those together when you make your grilled cheese. It's so good. But all you're gonna do is you're gonna butter your bread, put the cheese in there, turn it on the side, close it up, and then you're gonna have your grilled cheese really easy to go. But those are gonna take, that soup's, I don't know how long it's gonna take them. So I have sourdough bread and I have kind of the big bread. I didn't get like the little sizes. So I'm gonna show you. These are huge. So I have really big sandwiches I'm gonna make. Really good size for paninis. So you do that. Like my favorite one that I make is mozzarella cheese with pesto, and it's got basil and sun-dried tomatoes and whole tomatoes. It's so good. And so that when you make a panini with that, it's dreamy, dreamy, dreamy. It's so good. So good, so good. Okay, so another one, see I did my butter in our 1 cup prep bowl, but we have our off slanted little spreader, whatever this is called, centered off, I don't know what this is called, but small spreader, that's what I'm gonna call it. So we're just gonna go ahead and we're gonna butter up both sides. So we're gonna put the buttered side down, butter both of them, and then it's gonna go ahead and put the cheese in the middle, and then we're gonna turn it on because I don't have it turned on yet because that soup's gonna take a little bit, but I wanted to have this ready to go. So when I'm ready, I want this to be hot and melty. So right at the end of the soup is when I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna turn this on because I have a few things I wanna share with you before I do, because there's so much going on with Pampered Chef and there's so many things that I know you guys wanna know about. So I'm gonna take a few minutes, you guys, and just answer any questions that you have so far, or even answer any questions about tools you have that maybe you don't use very often, or tools that you've been looking at that you have questions about. So now is your time for Q&A to ask me any questions that you want, because I'm here to answer. Even if it's about having a party or making some extra money, whatever your questions are, I'm here to answer them. So shoot, go ahead, ask away. And there's no silly question, you guys. All questions are good.
What's your favorite tool?
Favorite tool? I don't know if I can pick one. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay. I'm really in love with my air fryer. I don't know if you guys can see that over there. I don't think so. But I might take you guys on a little tour of all my stuff in here. I'm gonna take you on a little tour. So this is my air fryer. And I absolutely love this because it has so many things about this. You get, I think you can see this. So it's got 16 features. So you've got, or not 16, this one has 6 features here. And then you can also do custom so that you can change, you know, whatever settings that you want. But you can air fry, of course, bake. So you can bake cookies. You can bake, you know, do anything. You could roast, you could do vegetables, you can cook fish, you can rotisserie. So in here you get a spigot. So you can put a pork loin on there or pork roast, or you can throw on the skewers, because we have skewers that you can get with this. And you could do like coconut shrimp or put hot dogs on there and spin your hot dogs. But they also have reheat. So pizza will be the best pizza reheated with this. Like you just got it out of the big, you know, going to the pizzeria. It is so, so good. And then you could dehydrate. So vegetables, fruit, you could dehydrate, you know, for jerky, do like your flank steaks or whatever. And I love that this one, oh gosh, it's dirty. I didn't clean it very well. Okay, so with this one, it has the rack on top of a silicone tray. So this one is actually going to catch, like if you're gonna do bacon on here, 4 minutes and bacon is perfectly cooked, and you put it on here and so it catches all the grease. And so you can do your bacon right inside here. You can do anything and everything. I use this thing constantly because it's actually my toaster too. So I'll put bread in there. I'll just make it as my toaster. So it does everything you could think of. That's what it's doing. But this is my second. I have too many. This is the multi-cooker. And so this is the one with 16 settings, because this one, not only can you sear, but you can do those eggs like at, what is it, Starbucks? You know, those egg bites that they have there? You can make those with this. And they're so good. So I have that recipe. So if you guys like that, I'll share that recipe. You can do sous vide. Have you guys heard of sous vide cooking? Where you put you haven't either? Okay. So you could do like the freezer bags, the Ziploc bags. You can actually put those steak, chicken, fish, whatever it is, put it in there. It goes in the water that's inside here and it will cook it so that it, and restaurants, high-end restaurants, they actually use sous vide cooking because you can't overcook and it can sit in there for hours afterwards. It keeps that temperature very consistent so that it cooks it so tender that you could never in your life get something better than made in sous vide. And so that's what you can do with this guy. But you can make homemade yogurt, you can sterilize. So if you guys know anybody that has babies, you can sterilize bottles and pacifiers and all that stuff. So this does so many things. You can make beans with this. So if you guys like pinto beans or black beans or anything, you do not have to strain them. You don't have to rinse them. You dump them in there with the ingredients and let them go. So cool. But you can make soups in here. You can do chicken. We a lot of times will throw in there a pork tenderloin with the salsa verde, the green salsa, and just let that cook. It takes like 20 minutes and it is so good. It like pulls apart. It is so tender. It is so good. And that's how we make our tacos or burritos or anything. And then this guy, do you guys have this? It's our double scissors. They're called salad choppers. I don't think I've ever in my life used them for salad. I use them for meat. I use them for chicken and poultry, and I use them for like pork and brisket, and I use it for, you know, anything that you want to chop up or slice up. This is double scissors. They make it so, so easy. So you have chicken in there with salsa and you chop it up. You never have to touch it to shred it. It's just falls apart. It's so good. So those are like my top 3 at the moment. So I hope that helped. But yeah, so ask me more questions. Oh, and just so you know that the air fryer and that multi-cooker that I was talking about, you could also choose one of those under $100 this month when you have a party. So our power tools, which are those are the 4, we have 5 power tools. That's 4 of the 5 that you can choose when you have a party. You get 60% off anything in the whole catalog as a bonus this month when you have a party. You can choose one of those power tools because they're already $100 off just as a guest. So you guys can buy them at $100 off. But as a host, you can get an additional 60% off of that price. So cool. And having a party is a minimum of 200 in sales, which is just, I send you a link that you can pass out to everybody and they can just click and shop, or we could get together again and I can make different recipes. I can show you guys different tools. And this is fun. I mean, I'm making dinner, so I love that I can actually teach people how to use these tools and how to make recipes. And I could do this like every night of the week if we wanted. So let me know if you guys wanted to get some free stuff. The best way to do that is to just do what we're doing here tonight and have a party, because everybody loves to eat. Everybody needs new ideas and new inspiration. Sorry, I'm putting you guys back on the little thing here. Okay. I think you guys can see me if I go back over here. Yeah. Okay. So that's still cooking over there. But yeah, so having a party is really, really fun. And it's super easy. I actually have on the 19th and on the 23rd, I have live in-person cooking shows, which I haven't done them in so long. So I'm so excited that I get to do that. Starting 25 years ago, that's the only type of party that we could do. And so since COVID hit, we've only been doing Zoom parties or, online parties. And so it's a cool way that we get to be with friends and family that live out of state or out of town. We can see each other like this. So it's pretty fun. So if you guys are interested, let me know and I'll answer any other questions that you guys have about that. So it is. All right. No other questions? No other questions? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start putting these together. So I'm going to turn this guy on here. And he's already on that side. And so we have to actually put these on different sides. Oh, I didn't plug it in. That would have helped. All right, so that one is there, that one's there. I get a free outlet here. Okay, so these are ready to go. We got the setting on here. I'm gonna do like a panini. So I'm gonna do the panini setting, and that's going to heat up. And then do the other side the exact same. And now they're heating up. And so we have both settings. So if you wanted one at like panini setting and the other side for keep warm. So say you're doing, or one is going to be, we'll say griddle for pancakes. And you're just going to do one side and the other side is warm. So you could just, as you're done with them, throw them on the other side and that'll keep your pancakes warm while you're cooking on one side. So you could use this as a warmer too. So like, such good ideas. All right, so this is heating up. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just stick that on here for now because while it's heating up, I'll just let that kind of go. And so that'll be cooking on its own in a minute. So throw in here, I don't know if you can tell, but it actually already kind of gave a little bit of indentation where the grill marks are gonna be. Well, cheese would be helpful to put in there, I think. So it's pampered, not perfect, sorry. So the cheese is important to put inside your salad. All right, so we're gonna do 2 slices of each cheese. So 2 of the sharp cheddar, 2 of the medium, and then these are just gonna cook on their own. And then while those are cooking, I'm gonna show you guys a couple more of the tools I think that you really should have in your kitchen. Because they're the ones that I use the most in my kitchen. And so that way it just helps, because a lot of people don't know what to get, or, they're like, I'm not sure. So I want to help you guys really get the tools that you're going to use the most into your kitchen. So there we go. All right, all done. And then while that's going, good. This is one of the tools. So do you guys have this? Does anybody have this? No, okay.
Not yet.
You want this one? Okay, this one, because if you do ground beef, ground turkey, sausage, tomatoes, avocados, eggs, anything and everything, this is 5 spatulas instead of 1 to try to break up ground beef or ground turkey. It's like, this was one of the best inventions the Pampered Chef has ever done. I was like, this is the coolest thing because it's curved edges. This doesn't hurt your cookware because it's phenolic. And so all you do is you put your thumb on the top and you twist. Yes, Ceci, you need this. And so you put it right into your pan and you just twist and it breaks it up in seconds. So instead of sitting there with 1 spatula trying to break it up, this is 5. This is a must have. So that is one of them. Mix and chop. The other one that I think you guys would like, that I actually showed you the salad choppers, because you just go straight into hot like chicken or beef or anything that you have, pork, and you go straight into it hot right out of the pan and just like chop it up, and it gives you perfectly shredded meats. without touching it, without having to do the fork trick, without having to, burn your fingers by touching it. You just go right into the pan and chop it up. So, so cool. So that's something that I think every kitchen must have, is that salad chopper, the mix and chop, a garlic press for sure, and a very good knife. So do you guys have really good knives at home? A lot of people do, because they either got them at the, as a wedding, or they invested in their own. But Pampered Chef, our knives are lifetime warranty. These knives will last you your whole life, and then whoever's life you give them to after. So, but these are full ting. This blade goes straight through the whole handle. So this is actually 3 rivets that keep this in place. So this will never get loose. It will never come apart. And it has finger guides. I don't know if you guys can see the little circles here. So there's a circle right there and a circle on this side. That's where your thumb and your first finger go to hold your knife. And so you twist your fingers around it, and that's the perfect way to hold your big chef's knife like this. And so from then, you're just going to go ahead and you go right through your food. But the chef's knife is the one that does most of the work in your kitchen. And so this one, when you hold your knife that direction, you do not fatigue your arm, because now it's an extension of your arm. Because if you hold a knife where you put your finger on top, or you hold it back here, that when you squeeze, it's just tensing right here on your arm. But if you hold it this way and squeeze, it's now an extension of your arm, and you can go to town and it will not stress your arm out and you won't get tired. So nice. But this is our large chef's knife. This is the one knife that I use and I pull out the most. And I have the big knife box set, and that's the one. So if you guys are needing at least one starter good knife, definitely. Okay, so these are doing really good. That is doing good. One of the things I just did today, I don't know, I went to the movies today and we got the large popcorn. And then before I left, I got a refill on the popcorn and brought it home. And so then what I did was I made homemade caramel corn. Have you guys ever made homemade caramel corn before? No. It was the easiest thing. And it is so good. I don't know if you can see it back here, but this is a big mound of caramel corn back here. So I'm gonna bring you guys a chunk so you can see it. But I made homemade caramel corn. And so this one I added peanuts to it. And the recipe, you guys, is so easy. And I just used the large bucket of popcorn, was the exact amount. It was 4 quarts, which is what you want. That's not it. I'm looking for the recipe so I can share it with you guys. But what I'll do is when I send you the recipe for this tomato basil soup, I'll send you the caramel corn recipe too, because it was so easy. But just in the pan, I did the butter, and I did brown sugar and salt. I think that was it. Let that come to a boil for like 5 minutes, and then you add baking soda and vanilla, and then you just mix that, pour it over the popcorn, and you put it in the oven for 45 minutes. And it is so good. I'm like, wow, good job, Shelly. So homemade caramel corn. And so if you guys are, thinking about gifts for later, you could put these in little containers, airtight containers. It'll last you weeks. And then that way you can give gifts later on in the year. So I have tons here that I will never eat it all. So if you guys live close to me in Rancho, come get some caramel corn, because I will never eat it all. Okay, so I am just about done. This is looking really good. Can you guys see this? I don't know if you can see it very well.
Yes, it looks good.
It's getting so good. So, and that is just in here giving those grill marks. And it is nice because I'm not having to slave over the stove. I'm not having to be out by barbecue. And then when I'm done, I just pull those plates out and throw them in the dishwasher. So I'm like, yes, this thing is so cool. And the nice thing about it is you can do, it comes with a probe. So if you make steaks, you can put the probe in there and it'll actually beep when it's done at the temperature that you tell it to be. So if you like medium rare or you like medium or whatever, you can stick it right in the steak or in the burger or the chicken or whatever you've got, and it will give you the measurement of, or the temperature of what it is. And it will beep when it gets to the measurement you want. So this keeps you healthier because you're getting the meat cooked to the right temperature, but it's nice and easy to work. So nice. All right, let me see what this temperature is for our guy here. Okay, so it's at 210. It says it's got 10 minutes left. So what I will do is, it's cooking, it's steaming, it's bubbling. I can see the steam coming right off of it. I'll move it over in a minute. But for now, we are just about done out of time. So I will actually put pictures. I'll send you guys the pictures of what it's done, little video of how it unveils here. But before we're done, I want you guys to write down my phone number. So grab a piece of paper and a pen, because I'm gonna be giving you guys, I'm gonna do a drawing for one of you guys to get a prize tonight. So when you text me tonight, you are gonna get a prize. So let me know when you're ready. So my number is 951 234 3504. So that's my business line. So 951-234-3504. And message me. Oh, I just got hello. So you're going to be getting the recipes that we did tonight. You're going to be getting I'm going to do a drawing for the prize. So everybody that messages me before we're done here, you're going to go into the drawing and get a prize. And look at this, you guys. Oh, so good. Can you guys see this?
It looks delish.
I know. I'm like, oh my gosh, so good. All right, so they're super duper hot. But you guys, these are so nonstick. You can see the cheese. I don't know if you can see the cheese, but the cheese has melted out onto the pan. Nothing sticks to these guys. Nothing. This is completely clean. And so with that, easy cleanup. Because I am not one that I like to clean very much. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys love to clean? No.
Negative.
Just like me. So I'm going to cancel that, let that go. And so that's, turn it off. Okay, so the grilled cheese are perfectly cooked, you guys. Look at this. Oh, isn't that pretty? All right, so those are done, and these are perfect to dip right into your tomato soup. So I'm gonna get our basil and our heavy whipping cream, and I'm gonna put those in there. So you guys, when you get your little, anybody ever keep these and grow them? Yeah. Okay, so I was gonna ask you for some tips if you did, because I kill them every time I try. All right, so what you do though, I did hear this from a friend, is the little parts on top, like they have these like tiny baby sprouts, you leave those alone and you take the bigger ones from below that and you pinch it off right at the stem and you just take the leaf. So you're gonna take those guys and we're gonna do about, let's see, it says about a quarter cup of these. So I'm just gonna grab a big handful of these, rinse them off, put them on a paper towel and roll them up. And if you do that and you just do it that way, rinse them, put them on paper towel, roll them up, throw them in a refrigerator bag, like a Ziploc baggie, put them in your fridge. It will last you a week in your fridge, ready to use. So, but you want to do that where you're just going to go ahead and rinse them, wrap them in a paper towel, throw them in a baggie. And then that way, whenever you need basil to use, you just open it up, pull out the pieces that you need. Like, oh, little tips are so helpful. So, okay, these are pretty good. So I'm going to rinse these, put them in that part that I need to do. That looks like it could be about a quarter cup. So I'm going to rinse these guys, throw them in there for the last few minutes, and I'm going to add heavy whipping cream. Hi, Nori. And then also you can add more salt and pepper and sugar to taste, depends on how it is at the end. So you want to do it to your taste buds. So you're just going to do a little spoon test at the end and just try it that way. But the heavy whipping cream, it's only a quarter cup, so it's not very much. So it's not bad on calories, we'll say. But I just get, heavy whipping cream. Just at the store, just regular one. And then that way you add that, and it just gives it that richer, such creamy, texture to it. So make sure that you add this, and this just adds flavor. So that's what I'm going to do in a moment. But that's it, you guys. So any questions about anything? I want to give you last chance. No? All right, you guys. So this, I'm going to bring it over again just so you can see it right before it's done here. Because it is a bubble and brew in here. See it? Can you see the steam? It is bubbling. It's so cool. All right, so this is almost done cooking. It's got 7 minutes. And this is ready to pour. You don't have to do an emulsion blender. You don't have to strain this. It is super smooth and creamy. And so it's ready to go. And all you do is throw your ingredients in there and you have homemade soup, but butternut squash soup, chowders, things like that. Throw everything in there and you could have your soups done. So good. All right. But thank you again, Evelyn, for having us all here tonight. It was so much fun. I hope you guys learned a few things. I wish you could come and eat with me, but we will be enjoying dinner tonight. But I hope we get to be together again on a Zoom like this so I can teach you something totally different. Because we could use the quick cooker, or I could use, the air fryer or something like that and teach you guys how to use those vessels. So that way you could be using them at